Yeah, sure.
So, hi everyone. Let us welcome here Tyson. So, good
Hello,
day there. All right.
hello
So,
everyone.
can you please
Yeah.
introduce yourself and also can you tell us what was your book all about?
Okay, first let me introduce myself. As rightly said by Tiffany, my name is Tyson Yambem, and I'm from India. And there's a place called Manipur in India, which is northeastern part of the country. So there we more or less have these Mongolian features in that area. So we more look like Philippines, Indonesians. So that's a little bit about the place that I'm born in. And about my education, I'm a BTech graduate in electrical engineering. Then that's about my qualification. Then coming back to my book, the name of the book is actually called Free Flow, and the book more or less deals with a theme actually, and the theme goes like this. Actually, there was a wise man and there's a boy. So the boy asked the wise man, "What's the secret to a contented life?" Okay. And then the wise man said, "Okay, I'm not going to say anything. Just bring a spoon and along with it, pour some honey in it." And then the boy poured some honey on the spoon. Then the wise man asked the boy to go and tour the house. Okay. So the boy toured the house, and then he actually told the boy to bring the spoon in the to bring the honey in the spoon, not to make it fall off. So the boy toured, and then he was so focused that he he didn't see anything. He was so focused on the honey and the spoon, and then he toured, and then he came back, and then the the wise man, the boys showed the spoon and the honey to the wise man. And then the wise man asked, "Did you see the beautiful paintings, magnificent statues in my house?" The boy said, "No, I didn't see any of those things." Then the boy said, "Okay," the wise man said, "You missed out all those beautiful things then." So this time the wise man asked the boy, "This time you go and tour the house, but make sure you see all those beautiful things as well." So the boy toured, and then the boy was focused and he saw the beautiful paintings, magnificent statues. And this time he also just saw that he could say to the wise man, he peeked outside the window and started seeing the sceneries and the birds. And then he was so indulged in it that he forgot totally about the honey and the spoon. So he came back, and then there was no honey in the spoon. Then the wise man said, "Where's the honey?" And then the boy understood, okay, he was overindulgent in all those things. Then this time the wise man asked the boy to go for the tour, but this time you make sure that you balance somewhat. You see the beautiful things also. At the same time, you focus, give enough focus so that the honey doesn't fall off from the spoon. So the boy went and he saw the beautiful paintings, and also he was equally focused on not letting the honey fall off from the spoon. And then he came back, and then he saw that to the wise man, and the wise man said, "The secret to a contented life is to have a balanced life where you don't overindulge, but at the same time you give enough focus to your word, which is goal." Actually, I have mentioned goal as a word in my book. That's the terminology that I've used there. So the book revolves around that theme. So why my book is a bit different is because in that particular theme, I have discussed five hindrances like fear, ego, guilt, grudge, and self-doubt. So these five elements, if we see, is actually playing a role in not making us reach our word or goal. At the same time, it at times, not always, at times, sometimes you, Tiffany, I'm sure you must have found like you want to go to that place, small things, like you want to go to this, you want to watch that film, you want to deep down inside, you want to do that, but at the same, but you forgot about it, but you were so focused on your goal that you forgot about it. So those things you don't want to miss out. So these five elements will be discussed, and the heart will play a major role in dealing almost these hindrances. So the book revolves around this theme, and these hindrances will be mentioned, and the heart will be playing a major role in overcoming these hindrances. So the book is more or less about this.
Right. Wow. That was really deep. And yes, I agree that it has a lot of lessons. So, everyone watching this, make sure you purchase Free Flow. And I'm sure that you will learn a lot of things. Anyway, Tyson, thanks a lot for sharing that one to us. And also, what pushed you to write this book?
Actually, in 2019, when I was in Delhi, actually, I was preparing for civil service exam. Actually, it's one of the toughest exams in India, actually. So I was preparing for that. Then one day around 3 a.m., I'm not sure, I woke up with an idea. Okay, the idea is about this, that living a balanced life. And then along with it, I got the name of the book, actually. So there is no logical explanation for this, but I got an idea and I thought it was a good idea. So in 2019, when I got this idea, I thought for a while. Even I have a record of that in my phone. Okay, actually, I recorded it that in 2019 that about all these things. If you want to see, I'll show you. So uh, that time I woke up and I got the idea, and then I was like, okay, should I go for it or should I not go for it? Then I thought for a moment. So then I decided, okay, let me think about it. Then when I met, then after some time, I got the opportunity to meet Ruskin Bond. I'm sure you must have heard about Ruskin Bond, the famous celebrity writer in India.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah.
yeah, then when I met him and he gave me his first copy, first book that he has written, along with his signature and many good lucks. Then I thought, okay, this is a sign that I need to do. I need to carry forward with my idea. So I took that as a sign, and from 2019 onwards, since 2019, I worked on this idea, and that's how now it's a book now. So that's about.
Right. So it surely has come a long way, right? And now
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2021, you have seen it as a published book. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you realize that you wanted to be a writer and how?
Actually, Tiffany, to be very honest, I never thought that I will even write a book. Actually, my whole life, when I was quite young, when I was a boy, I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be the chief minister of the state. I wanted to be a police officer, army officer, etc., and etc. But never in my life I thought that I would write a book. Actually, so this is purely accidental, you can say, and just I feel that what is an author? An author, I really feel that if you have an idea that you really want to share to the world, not because you want to get any benefits out of it, I think then that's where an author is born. And an author is dead actually once his book is published. That's a saying. Because once you publish your book, you are also a reader. The book is
True.
gone out from you and you're a reader, and there will be many critics, and critics will examine your book, and you must be willing to take all the critics, good and bad, if it is genuine, to improve your book or to have a better idea. So I feel that the author was born when I got the idea in 2019, and I think the author is dead when it was published. So that's
Okay.
what I would say about being an author or wanting to be an author. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I am looking forward when for the time that you will be born again, which means that you will have an idea to write
Yeah.
another book. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Tyson, for sharing that one. And also, is there any particular genre that you love to write? So if so, what and why?
Actually, the genre that I'm very in tune is fictional philosophy, because the theme that I have talked about in the book, that's the genre that actually I wanted to write. Now, when I initially started writing it, I didn't know which genre I'm in tune with. But after completing a book, now I know that I'm very much in tune with fictional philosophy, like the book like Alchemist, where there is a lot of wisdom. At the same time, it is more of a fiction and it tells a story. So I'm very much inclined to that genre. So if at all I'll be writing a book, next time I will be writing it in fictional philosophy. That is a genre that I really loved because it's very natural to me. I don't have to work for it. It comes very natural. For example, I can just get an idea, out of nowhere and then just jot it down. So it's very natural. So I would definitely love to write in fictional philosophy if at all I'm writing a book next time.
All right. Yeah. Good luck with that one. So,
Thank you.
anyway, so Tyson, who was your favorite character to write?
Actually, there's no such favorite character, but there are many anecdotes in my book which I forgot to mention.
Okay.
Anecdotes of my own life stories, anecdotes of great personalities, and many good stories actually. And the favorite personality is actually favorite character, I would say, would be Stan Lee. You know Stan Lee, the one who created Spider-Man. There's a
Okay.
story
Yeah.
about that in my book. So I love Stanley. Actually, I love his personality overall because he is always smiling and he speaks us great wisdoms. So I really love him. Actually, he's no more with us, but then he's always there in my heart. So Stanley is one of my favorite character in my book. And also there's this Sylvester Stallone. I'm sure you must have heard of, the one who's in many famous movies like Rocky, and then Rambo and all. So
Yes.
Sylvester Stallone and Stanley would be my favorite if I have to choose in my book. But if it is between them, it would be definitely Stanley because I do love Stanley.
Okay, so you prefer Stanley over
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone. All right.
yeah.
So
This is very chilled and he's kind of like speak great wisdom and he more or less, gets in tune with my personality. I love smiling a lot and I love living, a little bit carefree kind of life. So I love Stanley. That's all. Yeah.
right. Okay. Thank you very much for that one. Now, in writing, how did you find time or manage your time?
Actually, I don't, just I don't take out time as such like that when I started writing. Actually, when I was writing, I was still a student. I was preparing for the exams actually. Then how do I do things? Actually, when I'm relaxed, actually, I'm sure you must have heard that the great ideas come when you are in a shower or when you're very relaxed state. So likewise, when I'm in relaxed state or when I'm taking a shower or when I'm just sipping some tea, that's when the idea generally comes. So that's when I'll jot it down. Then I'll look about it later on. So I don't take out time as such, but I whenever I get an idea, generally when I'm in relaxed state, I write it down. That's how I do. And one thing that I would like to mention, there's a girl called Nikita actually who helped me in giving some kind of motivation or inspiration and asked me to sit down and write. So uh, that particular girl helped me a lot actually in my initial stage where I didn't want to sit down and write, but she somehow gave me some kind of inspiration or motivation and told me, if you want to get your work done, you need to sit down and just jot it down. Not you can't only just you can't just get an idea when you're relaxed and you can forget about it. You have to just put in some effort. So I took out some time after meeting her and getting the inspiration from her. So she's a very nice lady. So that's how I want to put up.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for that. And also, so when you were writing Free Flow, so is there any outline that you have followed?
Yeah, actually, first I began with a question. Question generally like, are you suppressing yourself? That's the beginning of my chapter. So this book is not for everyone. Actually, I believe, I genuinely speaking, I don't think this is for everyone. If you are really happy with your life and living a very contented life, I don't think that you need to read the book actually. But if you are somewhat suppressed, okay, and if you feel like there's a suppression in you, and it can be any of these five elements, okay, I'll tell you a story actually, Tiffany. When I was in Delhi, there was this famous, there was a D. D here, it means sister. Okay. There was a D sister who was also very spiritual and who was into a spiritual organization. And this D pointed out, okay, Tyson, you will be really successful if you learn how to deal with your ego. That's what she said to me. Then, so it means that out of all the five hindrances that I talked about in the book, ego has been very, prominent, and it is very dominant in me. So those are the hindrances that you want to take care of. It's not humanly possible to deal with fear, self-doubt, ego, guilt, or grudge all the time. It's not possible, practically speaking. But sometimes if you really consciously feel and you're aware that, okay, this is very predominant in me, that's the one you want to deal with. So this D, saw that in me because that was predominant in me. Now I learned how to deal with it, and I think my life has been comparatively much better. So the chapter begins with this outline. Are you suppressing yourself? So if you are suppressing yourself, you have to see if it is fear that's crippling you, self-doubt or ego or guilt or grudge. Now, if any of this comes too frequently in your life that you kind of feel suppressed, then that's when you need to take care of. Otherwise, it's fine. You don't need to think so much about it. You need to live freely and happily. But at times, for example, I'll tell you, if you're someone who is suffering a lot from fear, okay, someone who is always time fearful and all, that's the thing you want to deal with, right? So that's like that's how you can do it. It's mentioned in the book. It in my book, I don't say that you have to listen to your heart all the time. I said at times you have to listen. When is the time? When you are very relaxed and when you are sure that, Tiffany, I'm sure you must have you must have had that experience, that you are consciously aware that you want to do a particular thing, be it about a goal or be it about enjoying the beautiful things. But then out of fear, you didn't do it, which you know that you're going to regret later. So this is not just in a moment that you have to take a decision. This is a span of some time that you will get. So in this some time, you have the ability to decide whether you want to go forward or you want to just, let it suppress you. So we have to take a decision, right? So we will have this span of time, and if it is going to be very regretful, somehow regretful in the future, at times we have to listen to our heart, okay, so that we can somehow live a balanced life. Now, if you are suppressed, then I don't think that's a good life you are living. Or if you are very unstable, also that's not a good life. But if you are at times, I mentioned at times in my book launch also, the statement in my that banner is, are you listening to your heart at times? I mentioned at times. I didn't say all the time or never. So this is the thing that you want to take care of. It's like if you feel really suppressed, and if you think that if you consciously want to get out from it, and if you are sure you want to do it and know that you're going to regret not doing it, I think it is better to do it for the goal also to enjoy that small beautiful moments, like going for a movie or partying with your friend, or like going to that place that you always wanted to visit. If fear is holding you back, then you have to give yourself some time. You have to listen to your heart, you have to do some study, and then take the step. So the book began with that question, then the hindrances are discussed, and these 4 hindrances like fear, guilt, ego, and self-doubt have their separate chapters. But grudge I did not include in a separate chapters, and because it is not much required and there is no much relation with the heart. So these 4 chapters, these 4 hindrances are there with are in separate chapters, and that's the outline. And the ending will be the question, that is, are you suppressing yourself, will be answered in the end. So that's the outline that I followed in the book.
Right. So there are really lots of lessons in the book. So make sure everyone will purchase and they will not regret buying your book. Anyway, okay. So yeah, what were your learnings, Tyson, during the writing process?
Okay. Before I begin this whole journey, I did not know that what is a book actually. I did not know what is a book. But at the end of the journey, I knew that what can be called a book. Now, anything that you have written, now, if that thing is complete and independent on its own, I think that's a book. So that's a feeling that I get. For example, if a story, if it has a start and an ending, and if that story can exist independently and completely without anything, then that can be called a book. So that, that skill and or that wisdom has been incorporated in me after the whole experience or whole writing experience that I did not know. Now, if I look at book, I will see if it is conveying a message and if it is independent on its own. Now, if it is independent without the support of the author or without the support of anything, then I think that is a good book. So that's the experience that I get, that feeling that, okay, that the ability to complete something or the ability to feel what is a complete thing and which can be called a book. So that's the experience or what you can, some wisdom that I gained that I would like to mention. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. So, for you, what do you think makes a good story?
As pointed out before, just right now, any
Yeah.
story that has any story that has completion, if it if it revolves around a theme, and it is if it is independent on its own, and if it can support its own on its own without the help of anything, I think that is a good book for me. And I would like to mention one thing, Tiffany. I think, when I was in plus one, when I was my 11th standard, I read a book which was relevant to me at that time. Okay. But now it is not relevant to me now because I have grown from it. So I think any good book is something which is relevant to you at that time, which makes you feel good, which uplifts you, or which gives you a good feeling, any of those things. Now, if it is not relevant to you or if it doesn't make you feel good, I'm saying about my book also. If it is not relevant to you, if it doesn't make you feel good, then I don't think that can be called a good book to you. A good book to me need not be good book to someone.
True.
So when I was in my plus one, that book, I will not mention the name of the book, but that book was very good book to me. Okay. But now I don't even read it actually. So because I have grown from that. So a book, if it makes you grow, and once you have grown from that book, you don't need the book actually. See, when I started writing this book, I used to refer for my life, to the book, because I wanted to, learn from the book that I've written. But now I think I've grown from my book. So that's why I said, I know that now I can write fictional philosophy. Now I got a good idea. So it's because when I didn't write the book, I was not, I was not grown. But after I've completed the book and published it, I've grown from it. So it's like, if you have grown, then I don't think you need the book. But if you are someone that's very suppressed and you don't know what to do, then I think you can refer to my book and you can grow from it. Once you have grown from it, I don't think you should read it at all. So
Okay.
that I think is a good book. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, thank you very much for your very well thought answer. And I'll take all of it actually. But yeah, anyway, so what advice would you like to give to those aspiring writers to become a published one like you?
Thank you so much for publishing my book. Actually, I would like to thank Ukiyoto, which I will mention later on. But just because you mentioned that I'm a published author, which I feel right now, so I'd like to thank you first.
Okay.
So, to budding writers, one advice that I would like to give is that if you got an idea, if you genuinely think it is good, and if it needs to be out in the world, then don't think about the sales, don't think about the profits, don't think about the fame or any of it. Just work for that idea and just do it only for that sake, not for anything else. And if you do that, you will be able to complete it. And one thing that I would like to mention on the process that I've learned, which I forgot earlier, is that when you're jotting down, you don't have to think so much. You just write it down. Okay, if you get an idea, you write it down. Just go through the flow. You just write it down. Then you will have a feeling that, okay, the book is complete on its own and independent, like I mentioned. Now, when you find that feeling, then the book is complete. Then you need to, evaluate 1 or 2 times some mistakes, and then it can be a book. So my advice would be just 2 things. If you got an idea, Just don't think about the profit or any of it. Just do it solely for that first. Second, you don't think so much how you're going to create it or how you're going to make it. You just write it down, and just there will be many mistakes actually, and that's a part of the process. That's actually a fun process actually. If you don't make any mistake, what's the point of even writing a book, right? You learn from those mistakes. So second advice would be write it down, just jot it down, don't think so much. And when when you do all those things, when you feel that it's almost complete, then you can end there. Then the third step would be to modify something, some languages or some grammatical errors or any of it. That would be the third brushing up. So my advice would be these three only. If you have an idea, go for it. Just don't think so much. Go through the flow, write it down, and if you feel it's complete, then after it is complete, just make the just correct the necessary mistake by giving it a last brush up. So these three advice I would like to give to my budding authors.
All right. Thank you very much, Tyson, for that very wonderful advice. And as an aspiring writer too, I will take that advice. And anyway, okay. All right. So aside from this new released book, any other thing or announcement you would like to let everyone know about your writing career?
Actually, I don't have any such idea. I got an idea, but right now I don't think I'll be writing right now. But I got an idea. But if I get an opportunity which I think is good, or which I need to just take on the challenges, I will definitely take on that challenges. So as of now, I don't have any such challenges. But if I ever get an opportunity that I need to take on, or be it about writing, be it not only about book, be it about scripts or movie scripts or any of that, and if I feel that it's going to be challenging and I would feel the thrill, then I will definitely go for it. But as far as the book is concerned, I got an idea, but I don't think I'll be writing soon. So that's how I want to put out.
All right. So yeah. So thank you for sharing that. And also, do you have your physical copy of the book with you?
Yes, but right now I think
Oh, okay. But anyway, are there any people you'd like to thank, or you can invite everyone to follow
yeah,
you
actually,
on your social media sites?
I would like to thank my family first, because they have been quite supportive in all this journey, and some of my friends who are very genuine to their heart, and who has given me immense support, and actually to the people that knowingly or unknowingly contributed a little bit or more to my book, or to and given me inspiration or motivation. To all those people, I would like to say thank you to them. Without them, the book would have never been published. And I would also like to thank Ukiyoto, obviously, because as a publisher, you published my book. So thank Ukiyoto at last. Yeah.
All right. So, how was your experience, by the way, with Ukiyoto Publishing?
Yeah, actually, it was good. Why I'm saying it's good is because as a human being, I'm a person who love sharing ideas and likes when someone listens to my ideas as well. I'm not saying that if it is bad, I would definitely discard those ideas, but I want somebody to listen to my ideas also, and I would listen to their ideas also. So as Ukiyoto is someone who is very receptive to my ideas, who is very open and who takes on my ideas, and if it is good, they implement those ideas. If it is not good, they tell you honestly it's not good. So that thing which is something which I really like working with Ukiyoto. And the second thing is that they are very fast in replying your queries. They would reply to your queries, which is something I think very nice. And so overall, it was a very good experience working with Ukiyoto.
Right. Okay. So anyway, that wraps up the interview. I am really grateful for you for attending this interview here with me. And
Yeah, same here, Tiffany.
all right. So yes. So for everyone watching this, make sure to get a copy of your book, of Tyson's book, rather. So all right. So anyway, thank you very much, Tyson, and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Tiffany, for having me, and you too have a great day. And lastly, thank you to all my audience. Thank you to Kyoto, and thank you to everyone. And I hope you read the book and feel good about it, and you grow from it. So that's how I want to end the note. So thank you, Tiffany, once again for having me.
Right. So I would also like to remind everyone on Tyson's back. So it's not over till you win. Okay.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye bye, Tiffany.